Hello, I'm John Shepherd, and in this short video I'm going to answer some questions that you guys have sent into the channel on the long jump takeoff, and I'm also going to give you some basic information on how you can learn the hitch kick. The first question comes in from Jared Rodney, and he's talking about an athlete having problems holding their free thigh parallel to the ground after takeoff. And he's asking specifically what you can do to maintain that position. Well, as I've said in a number of videos, the positioning at the takeoff comes from what you do on the penultimate step and your body movements moving into the takeoff. Therefore, you need to set the jump up properly and pre-swing the free leg just as you're coming into the takeoff to get it elevated and in front of the body. And the hip needs to move away from the body. It's just not a lifting movement. The inclination of the trunk is key in order to achieve a balanced flight and takeoff position. If you're leaning slightly back, then the thigh can elevate above parallel. And if you're leaning forwards at takeoff, then it's going to be very difficult to get that parallel to the ground position. Hence, it's crucial to be in an upright posture at takeoff. Now, I prefer the shoulders to be slightly in front of the hips at takeoff to create the movement across the board, the fluency and the speed. Another thing that you can do is to block the front arm at takeoff at about eye level, and that should stop the free swing of the leg at a parallel to the ground position. So it'll act as a kind of block, a brake on the thigh, and hopefully hold it in position as well. You need to go forwards off the takeoff, as I'm saying. Don't just lift the thigh and block the arm. Swing the hip away from you, move off the takeoff and then block the arm. Then you'll clear the board and create what I call a takeoff drive. Now, there are a number of videos on the channel which describe various drills which you can use to improve your long jump takeoff and achieve the various positions that I'm talking about. So do refer to those, as they'll give you a good insight into what you can do to create the optimum takeoff position. Okay, more of the million-dollar question: how do you learn the hitch kick? This comes up multiple times on the channel, and there are some videos that I've uploaded over the years that do provide a step-to-step approach. However, what I've found as time has passed in coaching young athletes in particular, and this relates back to the first question, in that you need to create an optimum takeoff before you start to learn the hitch kick or any other technique for that matter. Once you do that, then you're going to be in a much better position to benefit from the learning of the hitch kick or the hang. With a young athlete, initially I'll teach them how to do a stride jump. The stride jump technique embodies the alternate arm action for the hitch kick and of course the takeoff and the landing positions. So you've got the basic framework of a hitch kick there upon which to build the rotational aspect of the leg. Now, after takeoff, with the hitch kick you want the free leg to extend, or the foreleg I should say of the free leg to extend out and then pull back behind and around the body. So after an athlete has learned the stride jump, I'll start to get them to take off and then hold position for a brief pause after takeoff, push the foreleg out and pull it back round and under the body, and we'll see what happens. Generally, because they're aware of what they should be doing in the air with the stride jump, the rear arm will come up and round as the front leg drops down below their body as well. So they've almost learnt that without learning it, if that makes any kind of sense. Now, there can be problems in getting that rotation after takeoff, and it's here that you may need to introduce some more specific drills. But sometimes it's better to just, after you've taught the athletes the basics of the stride jump and they've had a couple of goes at rotating the legs, to just let them keep persisting, because sometimes it just clicks, particularly if you suggest to them that they run off the board, which is key to the hitch kick because it is running in the air. However, if you were to say that to an athlete straight away who had only rudimentary basic grip grasp of the long jump, then they wouldn't get an effective takeoff, or that's what I found in my experience. They'll try to run too quickly off with the takeoff and won't impart sufficient force through the board, nor will they have a takeoff drive before they rotate. If that doesn't succeed, and it is going to take time, it's not going to be learn a hitch kick in one session, you can go to some more specific drills. Now, these are pretty commonplace. One of them involves standing on the edge of the pit and swinging the free thigh out and then rotating the legs to drop down into the sand. I found that young athletes tend to pick that up pretty quickly, and if they've been taught the stride jump, invariably the rear arm will start to come over, as I've talked about, because the arm needs to be up above the head and the opposite leg down below the body. After that, they can then start to try that drill with a 2, 3, 4, 5 step approach into the sand. Not jumping for distance, but hitting the takeoff position, pushing the foreleg out, rotating and dropping into the sand. So they're learning the first cycle of the hitch kick. Next, I'll usually take the athlete back to 8, 9, 10 steps and ask them to try to do the same drill again, i.e. the one rotational movement of the legs after takeoff, but rather sneakily, I say, but you've got to land it, i.e. put your legs out in front. Hopefully, this sort of tricks their brain into taking off and rotating the legs and then putting the legs out. Because I've found that if you just say, right, now you need to add the landing on, they tend to think immediately of the landing and forget about the leg cycling, the cycle aspect of the legs throughout the hitch kick movement. So it's worth trying that, as you might be surprised that the athlete actually gets it almost straight away, without you having to try to teach them how to land. Now, I will revisit the subject of hitch kick learning in another video, but hopefully what I've said here will give you a starting point at least for how to teach and learn the hitch kick and coach it. As usual, thanks for watching and good luck with your training and competition, and do subscribe to the channel and leave any comments you may have in the section below or through my other social media. And do check out The Jumper, the multimedia digital magazine that I've recently created, that has links to some of my videos and to podcasts from other sources, for example the Triple Jumpers podcasts. There's lots of valuable information in it that will help you with your jumping and your training. Thank you to everybody who's subscribed to the channel or just passed by on a couple of occasions to view a video or two. We've now got over 14,000 subscribers and close to 1.5 million views over the last 2 years that I've been concentrating on developing the channel. So, as I've said, thank you very much and good luck next year, and let's get plenty of personal bests.